what is Sarkisian's plan for the defense side of the ball? Was internal retaining type position, or did he hire? He hired an outside defensive coordinator, Pete Kwiatkowski from Washington. Pete Kwiatkowski has also had like a top 25 defense every year other than his first year at Boise State. So this is one of those situations where I'm willing to give him time, but I need to see progression. The defense hasn't gotten any better this year. I want to see it get a little bit better game by game. I want to see tackling get a lot better. Like tackling for the most part is good, but then there's like these 7 or 8 plays a game. It's inconsistently good tackling is what I'll call it, because 7, 8 plays a game where they just don't decide, I'm not going to tackle this drive or this play, I should say, and then big plays happen. So I need to see that get better. And also, he wasn't my first choice, to be honest with you. We wanted Barry Odom. That was by far the number one choice. And he turned us down. He got a big contract extension with Arkansas. Then I would rather have kept Chris Ash, because I saw progression with the defense, and I like Chris Ash. He played a lot more all gas, no brakes mentality type of football, whereas PK is more of sit back, relax, let the defensive linemen eat up offensive linemen double teams, and then have the linebackers flowing downhill to stop the run. And in the pass game, we'll let you have 5 to 7 yards and not get over the top. Like, none of that's working right now. And again, it's not his player, so I can't really judge him. I'm going to start judging him way more. I'm going to judge him way more harshly next year, in my opinion. We'll see what happens. So he may. I mean, if it goes super bad, he may not be here next year, but I doubt that. I think every coach, especially if you're not the head coach, to me, should get at least 3 to 4 years. I'm going to say 4. I think coordinators should get 2 to 3. But yeah, we need defensive recruits on that side of the ball. Again, like if you tune in the Texas channel, every week I talk about recruiting cornerbacks is what we really need, and then on the offensive line, offensive tackles is what we really need. Those are like the 2 big key needs. Rattlers, like I said, I think he would probably go pro over transfer. I don't know where he transferred to. Oregon, maybe they could use a quarterback. I can't really think of anywhere else that like jumps out like right away, but he may transfer. Like, I mean, I don't think it really matters. They got Caleb Williams, and then they'll have another quarterback, I'm sure, lined up for after that in recruiting. Next year's Red River is going to be crazy, but maybe even closer if we get these offense. I'd rather get defense recruits. I think offense will be fine. I mean, Sark is working with basically 3 guys on offense and showing out. So, and they're all going to be back next year. So I'm fine with the offensive side of the ball. Of course, we're going to end up getting Brendan Thompson. We'll probably end up getting another 1 or 2 really good wide receivers. And then I like our tight ends for next year as well. So I'm more worried about the defensive side of the ball and the offensive line, especially the offensive line. The guy that played for OU today was the guy that the fans was cheering for. Yeah, they wanted Caleb Williams. I think that was 2 weeks ago in Norman. Yeah, it was. They were playing West Virginia. Yeah, that's who they wanted, and they got him, and he played well. And I think he'll probably be the starter from here on out. That really surprised me, by the way. I loved seeing Spencer Rattler come back in with the 2-point conversion. It makes sense because he, like they said on the broadcast, he probably practiced all the 2-point plays because your backup's not really going to practice that. But I was happy to see him come in. But he did a good job because that's hard to do, sitting out for that long and then coming in to throw one pass basically and know that pass is that important. So props to him on that. Yeah. Yeah, they always recruit well. I mean, them and Texas kind of recruit themselves in the Big 12. The difference is Oklahoma the past 10 years has gotten those people, gotten them in the program, made them a little bit better, pushed them to the NFL. Texas has gotten them. They've stayed the same. And then when they get to the NFL, you can see guys like Poona Ford, Quandre Diggs, multiple other people. Holton Hill when he wasn't, messing around off the field. Those type of guys go undrafted or underdrafted and then succeed. And that's what's so frustrating because you got Caden Sturge, for example. I'm a Broncos fan as well, and he's playing really well with us. PJ Locke made the team. He plays well when he plays. So these type of guys that go in like the 4th through 7th round or undrafted, and then they play really well in the NFL. And you're like, why didn't they do that at Texas? They didn't do that at Texas because they didn't have the right coaching. So that's what we need to get to. We need to get to like an Oklahoma mentality, but also more obviously better on defense. They have been the past 5 to 6 years. Robert, Sheldon Lee. I agree. I was just saying I'm also super happy. And we're not back. Don't say that. And by the way, Texas fans, Sam Ellinger may have said that, but and we liked it for that first year. But that's not back to us. Back is winning in a decade, winning 100 games, 100 to 105 games. When we get to that point, we can say we're back. Until then, no. But it does. You are right. I agree with you. It's more fun when we're both good. Like, it also helps out the conference. Obviously, in the SEC, they don't need help as much as the Big 12 does. The Big 12 needs a lot of help. But it is fun when we're both good. Yeah, agreed. We're on the right track. 100%. I respect that coming from a Sooner fan because I do agree. I think that's one of those things about this game. Like, I'm angry in the moment, but I'm not angry looking forward because I really do like this coaching staff. For example, special teams today, other than a guy, freshman, just making a dumb decision, coming out of the end zone and fumbling, was freaking spectacular. A blocked punt to start the game by, again, DeMarvion Overshown, especially in the first half, was all over the place. Props to him. So that was awesome to see. And we've seen that week after week, the special teams be really, really good. So it's just been nice to see. Under Charlie Strong, it was abysmal. Under Tom Herman, it was inconsistent. Disagree with Mac Brown for the simple fact I think they should have actually fired him earlier because if you read articles, and this is, I mean, it's just a fact, Nick Saban was going to be at Texas if they fired him 2 years, or I believe 2011 or 12. But Mac Brown, he got offended by that and would not retire based on that fact. Like, they told him, "We're going to hire Nick Saban. You need to retire." And he's like, "No, I'm not doing that." And he was under contract, so they couldn't really do anything. And that ended right there. So they should have fired him earlier and just gone for the throat and got Nick Saban. But that's what really hurt. And then they kept him too long. And obviously, I like Mac, but he's one of those guys that I think got so successful and he's not as hard on himself as like a Nick Saban type, and he just rested on his laurels. Like, it was just way too laid back. He missed recruits. He wanted RG3 to play freaking defensive back, wanted Johnny Manziel to be a walk-on. Like, it's just these little things that he messed up. Now, Charlie Strong, I don't really know too much about the situation. I know he did kick off a lot of players. A lot of those players deserve to be kicked off. I know a lot of drugs and stuff like that. But I also think he was trying to build like a super disciplined culture. I know a story about Charlie about where they would take a bus to practice. So it's like a mile away from where they get picked up to go to practice. And instead of that, he made them walk every day. And that's one of those things I guess I kind of like. I don't know. Looking back on it now, I probably don't like it, but it was like one of those things. Okay, he's trying to build a tough culture, and they liked him. Like, the players liked him. When he got fired, they were at his press conference. Like, that didn't happen with Tom Herman. They don't like Tom. They didn't like Tom Herman. So if you could combine Tom Herman and Charlie Strong, I think you would have had something, because I think Charlie Strong was a very good human being and very good at building culture, whereas Tom Herman wasn't. But he was a little bit better. He was definitely a better football coach, and he'll get a job somewhere, and he'll end up, if he ends up somewhere in like the AAC, he'll end up winning 9 to 10 games a year. If he goes to a lower level Big Ten team, he'll win 8 to 9 games a year. He's that type of guy. I don't think he's a national championship winner, but he's good enough head coach, and he doesn't build the relationships that are needed to win like national championships and be looked at as a leader. Kind of like Nick Saban may be looked at as like, how do guys like the guy, respect him, whatever. Respecting's easy at this point. He doesn't really need much to garner that. But like, there's an ESPN special, you can type it in and watch it. He has players come over to his house and they go on his boat and ride on the lake. Like, this guy's actually a nice guy. He may just seem like a dick to the media, but he's a nice guy around the kids, and that's what you need to be.